Alright, so here's going to be my initial review after putting together the Tel Tech 3D printed rigid heddle loom. This is the 12-inch complete loom. It comes with almost everything you need other than something to thread through the holes and scissors and yarn. Pretty much, or a full-size, well, it comes with a full-size shuttle, but I don't see this working for much if you don't use thread, because really, that's me. I could be wrong. It is ingenious. I think it's actually cute and clever, and it would be good if you were changing colors often and only have one shuttle, so it could be good for that. But I think making your own out of a yardstick or something from Home Depot or Lowe's, they're really, really cheap. You used to give them away for free, but they don't anymore. You can just cut a hole with a hole saw and a bandsaw or just a coping saw. They're really cheap. You can get them at Harbor Freight if you don't have one. Cut the little things. Just make it like the fishy head shape. Anyway, it works great. Just both sides, and then you have a shuttle. You can make it whatever size you want. I like to make mine a little bit longer than the warp, but maybe a little bit longer than the loom, so I'm not pushing on the warp threads when I'm weaving. It's a really light material, so it's very nice. Home Depot or Lowe's also has hardwoods in almost the exact size that you need for a shuttle. Also, all you need to do is make your opening here. You can look online, any of the shapes that appeal to you, go for it, and then just sand it up, and it's nice. Anyway, I think the loom is adorable. I love that. There was, to me, a mystery, which were these teeny tiny screws, which I couldn't quite figure out where they were supposed to go, because in the video it looked like they used shorter screws going into the knobs, but these were way too short. They wouldn't even have connected to the wood at all, so those weren't good for that, and I couldn't figure out where they were to go. I thought they went down here, but they didn't go through there either and connect into the wood. I wound up having to put in 4 screws of my own because the kit was short 4 screws. So that sort of was a bummer, but nothing that was insurmountable. The feet are lovely. I love the feet. There are no pre-dove holes, so you have to bear down a little bit to get your wood screws started. The feet are great. The pieces are nice. The fit is good. It's really, there's one thing lacking in the directions. They didn't mention to line up these particularly. Mine are off just a little bit, so then only one of my pawls will engage at a time. Oh, there are 4 pawls. Most looms, there's only pawls on the one side anyway. But if you're doing it yourself, you will want to mark your beam somehow so that you get these level, and that way your pawls will engage both evenly. I wasn't going to take my screws out and redo it, so we'll see how it goes. I might in the future, but one little thing that annoyed me, these holes were crooked. That's annoying. They're straight on the front, they're crooked in the back. That is a really tiny pet peeve. It probably will make no difference, and for the price of the loom, who could complain about that? Just me. Yeah, but they're the same on both. They're crooked. So it's just a little. I'm not crazy about the paracord because the knots are big, and that's gonna. I'm gonna cover them with paper when I wind on anyway. But I don't really love that the knots are so big. I took the middle out of the paracord to make it less obtrusive, and so I think it's a little better. But there you have that. That's not my favorite, but like I said, I'm not complaining really about anything. I'm just noting it. So just noting it. I'm not complaining. The only thing I'm going to have a little trouble with is I don't have anything fine enough yet to thread this thing. 10's not my normal size anyway. My normal, I work with fatter threads because I'm impatient and my life is weird. So I like my weaving to be really easy. I'm not a big complicated weaver most of the time. Oh yeah, so those little teeny tiny throughs going back here in the heddles, which takes care of a pet peeve, because I was going to say I hated that these things were slipping around. But there's screw holes, and these are teeny tiny screws go in here. That's not noted on the video. Just figure that out for myself. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that one. This is an adorable shuttle. It's really cute, and I love that it has a holder right there. That's really cool. This is included, and that's all I got to say about that. They did include this. It is, we'll see how that works. We'll see how that works. But overall, I'm quite impressed. Everything was smooth. Everything was lovely. The tolerances were super tight. I had to actually sand stuff so I could get it in, because, you know, that wasn't going to work. And then I had to be careful how I varnished, because there was no way after I varnished, if I hadn't sanded it, I wasn't going to be able to get stuff on at all. But I think it's adorable. I'm excited to warp it, and I will let you know how she goes. Or I'll have a warping video, either, because, you know, I have to figure out what to do with this. It shouldn't be too hard. I have plans. All right. There you go. That's the Tel Tech Loom. Initial feelings, initial thoughts upon constructing it, and it went together pretty quickly, pretty nicely, other than those couple little things. If I were to do it again, I'd do those things. And this one oddly seems to be the wrong size, which I can't quite figure out what's happening with that. This one seems to have a little bit. I might actually cut this down, because it doesn't seem to be playing nicely. But we'll see. Yeah. All in all, totally stoked.